Hi, it's Aiden here from Quantum Teak, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make my snake design, which is designed by me. Obviously, this design is fairly easy, but it includes a lot of materials, and I didn't actually realize how many materials is actually required for this design until I laid it out on my workstation. But good news, you don't need stuffing, so yeah. Okay, so what you need is and be ready for this. You need some pliers, and I'll tell you why you need them. I'm just showing you what you need right now. Scissors, craft wire. I use this to pose it, but you don't need to pose it if you want to pose it. Your creation, these can bend. I think that it makes it a cooler effect on your snake, but you don't need it. And you need bands, and I'm gonna tell you, this came undone, whatever. I'm gonna show you how many you need. So I'm gonna be using 3 colors. The main body color, which on here it's this mint color. I'm gonna be using black and white for this pattern on him. So I'm gonna be using this pastel blue color for the mane, and again I'm still gonna be using white and black. Okay. So it's 3 colors all together. So this is my first color. This is gonna be, so I'm gonna say what colors you need. This is gonna be my first color, my second color, and my third color. So just be aware of that. What else? And, okay, so you also are going to be needing beads, okay? And actually, I got a comment on a notification on my channel saying, where do I get my beads from? And I get them from Michael's. I get them from Michael's. I still don't have the container where they're from because I threw it out. But I'll try to put it in the community section on my channel, the link for them, okay? But if you know Ginger Cell, just search up Ginger Cell on YouTube, and you go to her community section. She has a link for her beads, and you scroll down, she has a link to beads, and that's basically the same ones that I got. So yeah. And I also used dental floss to thread the band through this, and I'll show you how to do that later. This is unwaxed. I recommend to get wax because unwaxed frays, but it doesn't matter, okay? And these are the beads. They're mixed packed. I'm gonna be using the smallest out of it, okay? What else? I'm also going to be using 2 red bands for the tongue. You also don't need that, but I'm just gonna be using that. And that's what I'm going to be using the scissors for, to cut the tongue. That's literally all that we're using the scissors for. I'm also using the pliers to cut my wire, my craft wire. And this is also from Michael's. This is bead landing, 20 gauge, I believe. So yeah, if you want to know the gauge, that is that. Alright. Also, I'm going to be using a hook and my stitch marker. You can use any stitch marker. You can use a C-clip, but I found that a lock stitch marker works better because when I first started Loomigurumi, I used a C-clip and it kept falling out, and this locks. So yeah, okay, I'm actually going to be showing you how to put on the eyes right now. So I'm going to be getting my eye. I'm going to be getting my dental floss right now. I'm going to be getting the smallest eye in the pack, but you can use any, it doesn't matter. I'm going to grab my dental floss. I'm going to put it through the hole. And dental floss is the best. What's the best for this? Because I've tried like other thread, and dental floss works the best. Okay, so it's through, and then I'm gonna get my body color, which is the pastel blue. I'm gonna put it through that band. Then I'm gonna pull it over and put it through the hole. Okay, so you should have 2 eyes now, like that, just to get out of the way. I wanted to do that, okay? So, I think that's it, yeah. Yeah, okay. This, is real, before I actually show you how to make it, this is, a pretty easy design. The only hard part, I would say, that I had, like, really trouble on designing, and it was really tricky while I was, like, the neck part. I used something weird with that, so I'm gonna do my best to explain it. Yeah, I have, like, a lot of these guys, but, yeah, if you don't want to hear me, like, do the tutorial or whatever, the pattern's gonna be in the description, as always. The band count is gonna be in there also. I don't have it right now. This is a long intro, but I'm trying to just explain everything. Yeah. The pattern's gonna be in there, as well as my everything, my Etsy, my Instagram. So if you want to make, so if you make it, just tag me in the photo. And yeah, let's get started. I have my notebook here of my patterns. It's like really crowded, so okay. So I'm gonna be starting with my body color. Okay, just gonna zoom in. I'm gonna be starting with my pastel blue, my body color. So I'm gonna grab my hook, I'm gonna get a band, I'm gonna wrap it around, I'm gonna make a triple cap band to start my magic ring. Okay. Then I'm gonna grab a band, and we're gonna put 5 stitches in this cap band. So, pulling it through that band, through the cap band, then I'm gonna reclaim it, then I'm I cannot talk today. Then I'm gonna pull this first band through the here. So it looks like, that. Then I'm gonna go back in through this cap band, and put 4 more stitches, so there's 5. So that was 1. Pull it through, reclaim, then I'm going to pull this band through these 2. So that was 2, go back in, keep doing that until you have 5. So, 3. 4. And then 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so to count, you need there's these like V-shaped stitches. There's gonna be like a sideway one here, but that's actually a part of that stitch. It's kind of confusing, but if you count, it's only V-shaped, not this. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the band on your hook is 5. So now I'm gonna go into this first stitch, get a band, make a stitch, then I'm gonna grab my stitch marker, put it on the band on my hook, like that. That's just to track the rows. Okay, so this row, I'm going to do an increase in stitches 1 and 4, and the rest of the way is going to be single. So if that's kind of confusing, just follow me. So this is the first stitch I'm going to do with an increase, and an increase is just going through the same stitch and making another stitch. So there's 2. So I already did one. Now I'm going to do my second one. And I did an increase on the first one. Now I'm going to do 2 singles. So that was on the second stitch, single, third stitch, single, and then on the fourth one we're going to do an increase. So, increase, and the rest of the way is single. Then I'm back at the band with my stitch marker. I'm just going to make a stitch with the band on my stitch marker. Take it out. Put the band on my hook. So I'm not like really explaining it as well as I normally would. But this isn't really for beginners. It's a little tricky design, okay? So in this row you should have 7 stitches. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the band on your hook is going to be your 7th stitch, okay? So the next row is going to be an increase again on the 1st and 4th stitch, and single the rest of the way. So we're going to do the same exact thing, but there's just more stitches. So I'm going to go back into the 1st stitch and do my increase. Then going into the second one, third one, single, fourth one is going to be an increase. Then after this stitch, the rest of the way is going to be single. And I forgot to say that you can make this guy as long as you want, okay? You don't have to make it as many rows as I did. You can make it however long as you want. I'm just going to show you how to make the same length as I did with the other things, so, yeah. Okay. No, in the last video I said that I had COVID and I feel so much better. So I can make more tutorials. Okay, so I'm back at the band with the stitch marker on it. I'm gonna make a stitch. I'm gonna replace that here. Okay, so now this row you should have 9 stitches. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Then next row is just gonna be single stitches around. So you should still have 9 stitches after this row. So all singles, no increases. Nothing changes. And the camera was so far away today because I made so much snakes and it wouldn't fit in the camera. So that's why it's far away. And how it was on my older tutorials. If you understand what I'm saying, anyways. Okay, like the next 2 rows, you're gonna have to bear with me because this is where we're gonna do the neck. And like I said in the beginning, it's a little bit tricky. And this is gonna be a long video because the intro was so long because I had so much to say. Okay, back at the stitch marker, so you should still have 9. And I know that I have 9, so I'm not gonna count, but you can count to see if you have 9. Okay, so the next row we're gonna do a decrease every other. And we're only going to go inside the inner loop. Oh, I messed up. Wait, okay. Okay. So, I'm going to have to... So, I accidentally messed up. This band with the stitch marker off. I'm just going to undo it. I'm going to replace my hook on the other stitch. And I'm just going to take this out. I'm just going to go inside the inner loop instead of the whole thing. Okay? So, normally you would go through the whole thing, but I'm just going to go through the inner loop. And make my stitch. Then replace it. Okay? Because this row we only want to go through the inner loops, even with a decrease, okay? So we're going to decrease every other, and when you're done with this row, you're supposed to have 7 loops, okay? So that was my single. So we're just going to do single decrease. Okay, so a decrease is getting the inner loop of the other loop. And normally for the decrease, we're going to... I really cannot explain today. Normally with a decrease, we want to go through the inner loop of the first loop and the outer loop. But with this row, we want to go through all the inner loops. So I'm going to go through the inner loop of the stitch, okay? If that makes sense. Oops. And make a stitch. So a decrease is just stitching 2 stitches together. Next stitch is going to be a single. Only the inner loop. Okay, all the way around. This is why I like following patterns better when people put the pattern in the description. I don't really like, and if I make other designs from other people, which is really rare, I just look at the description, and if they don't have the pattern, then honestly I won't make it, because it's just easier for me to look at the pattern than watch like a 2-hour video. So I'm back at the stitch marker. I should have done a decrease. Okay, so this is where it gets weird. You're supposed to have 7 stitches, so you can count and do that. I know that I have 7. So to make the neck how it is, how you see here. Whoops. I'm gonna go under here. Oops, I'm gonna go under here like this. And grab a stitch like this. I'm going to show you again. So, my last stitch that I did was a decrease, and the stitch marker is here, like that, okay? So the one before the stitch marker, I'm going to go in here, like that. Basically like the inner loop. Okay, I'm going to show you again. So my stitch marker is here. I'm going to go inside here like this. The inner loop, okay? Gonna grab a band, and I'm just gonna make a single stitch. Then I'm gonna get my stitch marker out, put the band on my hook. That's like, I know it's like so random, but that's what I did for this design. Okay, so you may wanna like go to the video if you have the pattern. Okay, so we wanna do that 4 times. So that was 1. Again, go in the inner part of the neck. This is going to make it so it's like a skinnier neck, like actual snakes have. I know it's a little bit tricky, it's just a little bit hard to explain. I'm doing my best. So that was 4 times already. Just count 4. I know that there's like some left, but you just want to do 4, okay? So 1, 2. I have to do 1 more. I feel like this is a little bit tricky. Sorry about this. Sorry if you're getting frustrated right now. Just try your best. Okay, so I did 4, the way that you can count, the one with the stitch marker on it, we're not going to count that. I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, band on my hook, 4. Then I'm going to go with the band, with the stitch marker on it. I'm going to get my second color, which is black, like I said. I'm going to grab a black band, and instead of doing a normal stitch, I'm going to pull through everything, pull the front band over the back one, do a slip stitch to do a color change, and a color change just as a nice transition of color, because if you don't do that, this is a snake that I didn't do a color change, and it looks all jumbled. This is the one that I did do a color change. You can see a drastic difference there. Okay, so if you count, you should have 5. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I'm going to go to the next stitch, do single all around, and this is where you can make it as long as you want. So I did 11 rows, but I basically just switched colors. So I did black, white, body color, black, white, body color, black, white, body color, and then I closed it off. So So I did 11 rows of just that. I'm going to show you how to do 3 rows, and then you can get off and do as much as you want, but I did 11. Okay? I'm like out of breath, and it's like hard to explain this. So just all singles with that, because this is where it gets easier. I usually listen to music while I loom, so it's kind of weird to have the silence. So I'm back with the band with my stitch marker. I'm going to grab my third color, which is white. So I'm going to go with the band with the stitch marker on it. Again, I'm going to do a slip stitch, so I'm pulling that through everything. Put it with the band on my hook. Again, do singles all the way around, and you should still have 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and counting white, you should have 5. Okay, it's a bit hard to see because there's black. Because I have the black color, but okay, all the way black. Okay, this is going to be the last row that I show you. I'm going to switch to my first color again, the main body color, which is pastel blue. Pulling it through everything, doing a slip stitch. Whenever you change color, you want to do a slip stitch. You don't have to, it just looks nicer. Okay, singles all the way around till I get back to the stitch marker. And after when you're done with your 11 rows or however long you want to make it, you should still have 5 stitches, okay? Okay, I'm back with the stitch marker. I'm going to go back to my first color, do a slip stitch, okay? So I did 3 rows with you. You have to do 8 more rows. So I'm on my 4th row right now. You have to do 8 more to make 11, but you do not have to do 11. You can make it as long as you want, like I said. I think that this is like a really nice size. Like this is like straight, without it bended with the craft wire. And I didn't say this before, but I'm actually going to show you how to put the craft wire. Okay, so yeah, just stick with me with that. But yeah, okay. And I switch. So I basically do 3 of these, and I do 2 at my end to end it off with the body color. Alright, so come back with me once you've done that, alright? Your 11 rows, okay? So just come back to me once you've done that. Okay, I did my 11 rows. In the end, instead of switching to make my other colors, I just did 2 rows of my body color, but you can use anything. So there's 11 total rows. I'm back at my stitch marker, and this row, once you have your desired length, I'm just gonna decrease till closed. No stuffing, like I said. So I'm gonna actually just take off my stitch marker, and I'm just gonna decrease this till closed. And again, I'm just gonna stick with my body color, my pastel blue. So I'm gonna go into, so we're gonna do decreases. We're gonna do decreases. So a decrease, again, like I showed you, is going through the inner loop, but then instead of going into the other inner loop, I'm gonna go through the front loop. Okay? So just a regular decrease. We're not gonna do another decrease. So just decrease till closed. I really cannot explain today. Okay, so I have my last decrease on my hook. After that, I'm just gonna get a band and slip knot. Tight. Okay, you wanna hide it, but I'm actually gonna incorporate this with my wiring. So if you don't wanna wire it, then just hide it, okay? So, next step, I'm gonna wire it. Okay? So I'm gonna find the front part, and you know that it's gonna be the front when there is like 2 singles here and then 2 increases at the side. So there's like 2. So like you can see that there's like 2 singles here and then 2 increases at the side. This is gonna be the front for me, I think. Oh no, this is gonna be the front. Whatever, just pick a side. It doesn't matter. Okay. I'm gonna grab my craft wire. Like I said, this is 20 gauge from Bead Landing, Michaels. Usually, like, they're sold out. They may, like, restock it at the Michaels where you are, but they never restock it at mine. I haven't gone in a while, so maybe they have. But I'm gonna get my wire. I'm gonna stick it through the magic ring. You have the secret ring. I'm just gonna stick it through my snake and come out at the end. Just gonna, like, put it through these bands. I'm also gonna put it through here. Okay? Then at the end, I'm just gonna bend it in on itself and pull it through a different set of bands. Like that. So it's kind of just looks like that. It doesn't look as nice, but whatever. Okay? Then you may need a parent's permission because this tool is like sharp. The wire gets sharp and you can cut yourself on the wire, so just get parents' permission. I'm gonna get my pliers. I'm gonna cut so like there's like that length left with our wire, and I'm just gonna bend it in on itself like this and go through a different set. Okay, so it's like that. So it looks like this. I may have to cut more of my wire. Wait 1 second. You don't really want that much left. I'm just gonna cut more of that, okay? So it pretty much looks like this. Okay, and the wire's showing, but I don't really play with my creation, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, then I'm just gonna hide this. I'm just gonna go through some random bands and hide my tail. Okay, it's hidden. So this is at the front. I'm just gonna bend it how I want it, so I'm just gonna like twist it so it's like curly, like that. And we're almost done. I'm going to do the eyes now, so I have my eyes right here. I'm just gonna pick a spot, preferably like I skip 2 stitches, so 1, 2, and I put an eye. So I have an eye, I skip 1, 2, put another eye. So I'm gonna try to do the same thing. So I'm just gonna go through the side here, grab an eye band, pull it through, do a slip knot. You can pull it tight. I'm just gonna pull it loose like that. Skip 2, so 1, 2, go to the other side. Do the same thing. Just gonna hide my tail. Okay. Other side. Just adjust my eyes. Okay. So it looks like that. Right, so now I'm almost done. All we have to do is the mouth. You don't even have, I mean the tongue. You don't even have to do the tongue. I'm just gonna grab 2 red bands and I'm just gonna slip knot them together. Put on my hook, reclaim, pull it like that, pull tight. That's really twisted. Okay. Just trying to get it like so it's straight. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the underside. I'm gonna get my hook. I'm gonna go through the magic ring. I'm just gonna pull it through. Pull that tail through. And you can actually tie it in, glue it in, whatever, but this just works best for me because I don't even play with my creation, so it doesn't really matter. So it looks like that. Slide it out. Then I'm gonna get my scissors. I'm gonna cut my tongue. May have to adjust it a little. That looks nice. I like it. This is coming undone. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's your snake. Hope you like yours. That you enjoy this tutorial, that you like yours. If you make them, make sure to share with me on Instagram. I have so much of these guys. Maybe I should actually do a giveaway. I just have so much, multiple things that I make for tutorials that maybe I should give them away. Let me know. It's not like that. Like, I like my things. It's just I don't really play with them and they just sit in a box. So just let me know if you want me to give these guys away or like just a giveaway in general. Give away some bands, okay? I have like 7 of these now. Okay, I actually really like this one. Okay, anyways, that's it. I hope that you like this tutorial and let me know what I should make next, and bye. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.